Welcome to the 7th annual Salute to the Women Behind the Wheel. We're so happy that you're here. All right, well, welcome. So first of all, I want to introduce our 2 gold level sponsors of this event, because without our gold level sponsors and our other sponsors, you would not have this event, because they pay for everything, the cake and everything. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Brian Most. Oh, here he is. Are you mic'd? Do you have a mic on? Oh. Brian brought his own fan club. Yep, go up here. And Brian is with Walmart Private Fleet.
Thank you very much, Ellen, and thank you to the entire Women in Trucking staff. Thank you for your passion and your commitment to women's causes and wonderful, wonderful events like this today. Thank you to the other sponsors that make things like this happen. And more importantly, thank you to all of you for being here today at this moment in this place to recognize the successes of women in our industry. I'd also like to thank and recognize my Walmart family, our female drivers and the transportation associates that support them. Could you all please stand? Let's recognize them. Thank you all. We're especially proud of 2 of our drivers, Miss Allison Hay and Carol Nixon. They were nominated to the Women in Trucking Image Team last year. So thank you to both of you as well. And I have to say one more thank you to a driver, because literally I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. Because earlier this week I was visiting one of our offices in London, Kentucky, and I needed to get here to Louisville to this event. So I thought, what better way to come to a Women in Trucking event first, rather than hitch a ride, right, with one of our female truck drivers. So I would like to thank Miss Dawn Briggs. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your truck with me, and thank you for the wonderful experience. I won't forget it. The partnership with Women in Trucking is great with Walmart. At Walmart, we strive to have a diverse and inclusive environment for our associates, and when you think about the mission of Women in Trucking, the idea of empowering and employing women, celebrating their success, and trying to remove obstacles so they can have a long, successful career in transportation, that aligns perfectly with what we do every day. And I tell you what, it's also great for business. We think diverse and inclusive environments reduce turnover. We think it improves creativity. We think that better decisions are made, and overall, it's just great for business. At Walmart, we have a focus on hiring female talent in our driver base. We're doing a lot of things like partnering with organizations like Women in Trucking so we can better educate ourselves on things that female drivers are looking for, and also ways that we can engage female drivers in a much better way. Things that we can do with our equipment, things that we can do to educate our female drivers on safe conditions, and those types of things we think will help us increase our female driver count, and we know that will make us a better fleet in the long run. But more importantly, thank you for the professional way that you do it and you represent the industry. See, this is where it gets a little personal for me, because you're also role models to a lot of young girls out there. I have 2 young daughters myself that are at home, and because of Daddy's job, they love to see trucks out on the highway. But I tell you what they love seeing even more than the truck is they love looking up in the cab and they love seeing one of you drive it. And that creates the moment, the opportunity for my wife and I to have that discussion with our girls, that if they're passionate about something, if they work hard, that they can be anything they want to be and do anything they want in this world. So thank you all for that.
Okay, and is Gretchen here from XPO? There she is. She didn't really want to talk in front of you, but we're going to make her. Come on up, Gretchen. XPO Logistics, some of you might remember it was Conway, and now it was bought out by XPO Logistics, and they are a gold level sponsor of this event as well. So let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you, Ellen. That's a pretty tough act to follow because I just learned about 30 minutes ago that I was going to have to speak. So thank you, Ellen. You're going to be dead after the show. So if you guys like her, say goodbye to her today. I too, I'm a female in the transportation industry, but I do not drive. I've been in the industry for about 25 years, but I am a true driver advocate. I know that there is no way I could do the very, very difficult job that you guys do. I am well aware that if I do not have my job in my office, if you guys aren't out there working that very, very difficult and driving those, living in those trucks and doing all those difficult tasks, I wouldn't have my job. And I thank you every day, day in and day out. You guys pay my bills and make it to where my kids can have clothes on their back. You also bring my stuff. So my stuff is expensive purses. Thank God my husband's not here. But I know that there's not a rail car behind that Dillard store where I go to buy my truck, right? That's right, it is a truck. So I am very honored to be here amongst all of you. Something fell. I'm very honored to be here amongst all of you. Thank you for everything you do, and I truly appreciate it.
So we've attended this show for the last several years. It's a good show. There's all kinds of individuals that show up and join. It's an opportunity for us to actually get our brand out in the industry, talk to other drivers. Women in Trucking is a fantastic organization because it helps get young women into our industry. It's a very difficult industry. They do a lot of education, and it is important that we bring these young and old and second career individuals, females, into our world. I would encourage any female to join up just for the assistance and the tips and the different organizations, the different projects, and attend to everything. Women in Trucking is fantastic because they can provide all that education and healthy eating topics and just be there to support females in this very difficult industry.
Thank you so much, Gretchen. We really appreciate it. One more round of applause for Walmart and XPO. But there were a lot of other sponsors who helped pay the bills as well. And so I'd like to, please allow me to thank our silver levels sponsors of this event, Bennett International Group, Holland Inc., JB Hunt Transport, and Total Transportation of Mississippi for silver. Thank you. Our bronze sponsors are Great American Insurance Group, Trucking Division, Landstar, Pilot Plus, R&R Trucking, Ryder System Inc., and TA Petro. Thank you. Our copper level sponsors are Acuity, Averitt Express, Heniff Transportation Systems, Prime Inc., Republic Services, and Trimac. And our nickel sponsors are Brunny Transportation Inc., Dart Transit, EA Dion, Rand McNally, Truck Brush, and Warner Enterprises. Thank you. So I'm Ellen Voy. I'm the president and CEO of Women in Trucking, but I actually work for a board of directors, and so I'd like to introduce my board of directors, and please stand when I call your name. Mary Oftenberg of Daimler is our chairwoman. Stan Hampton, JB Hunt, he's our vice chair. Thank you, Stan. Thank you for all you do. Mary Brown with C.H. Robinson is our treasurer, and Patrick Pendergast from Ryder is our secretary. I know Ryder's here, but Patrick isn't, but thank you. And Linda Caffey is an owner-operator with Landstar Express. Linda, where are you? There she is. John Dietz with BMO Transportation Finance. Brandy Fuller with Great Dane Trailers. Brian Most, who you met from Walmart. Marnie Keller-Kokava from J.J. Keller & Associates. Andrea Raber from Bendix Commercial Vehicle Systems. John White from U.S. Express. Leah Shaver with the National Transportation Institute, and Andrea Christen of Andy Transport in Montreal, Canada. So now I get to thank the people who did all the work, because I didn't. But I have such a wonderful crew. It's just amazing. There's a lot of effort that goes into this. So I would like to recognize Shar. Where's Shar? Come on up here. Susan Kynes. Susan, where's Susan? Susan Kynes. Oh, there she is. Okay. Char's husband, Dick Pingle. He's standing in the back. Lana. You'll be hearing from Lana. Carlene. Carlene's back in the... And on a personal note, thank you to Mark Corbett, personal friend of mine. And also, my brother Dale. Dale, would you stand? And my dad. Dad, I want you to stand. This is my dad. He's 84. He's a little overwhelmed. You can sit down now, Dad. We all drove down. The four of us drove down, and I drove the whole way, of course, because I'm a control freak, so I wouldn't let them drive. I can't sit in the back. But we had a great time. I wanted my dad to see what I do, and I wanted him to meet some truly amazing people in this audience. So, Dad, I think you're probably a little overwhelmed. He's going to be talking about this for weeks. So, and Dale, I convinced my brother to take time off from work so he can hang out with Dad, and so thanks for coming. But also, and where is Janine staying? Still here? Did she leave? Could you come up here a second? I have a favor to ask of you. It's Char's birthday. Today is Char's birthday. We have a special cake for Char. And Janine, would you mind singing happy birthday? And I want you to all join in.
I thought she was going to ask me to eat the cake, but I can't. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Sorry. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks for coming to my party.
Truly, Char does all the work for this. So let's give Char a round of applause. Thank you for all your hard work. Char likes to tell people that 7 years ago, I said, hey, I've got this great idea. Let's have a salute to women behind the wheel. Let's give them all shirts. Let's have this big party, and you do it. Char goes, I was there at the birth, but she goes, I did all the pushing. I think that's what she said. But anyway, so let's go. I brought my notes so I don't get off, because you know me. All right, so I want to tell you, just take a few minutes, for those of you who aren't familiar with women in trucking, and even for those of you who are, I take this opportunity to kind of tell you some of the cool things that we've done, because our mission is threefold: to encourage the employment of women in the trucking industry, to address any obstacles that might keep women from either entering or succeeding in the trucking industry, and third, to celebrate success of our members. And that's what this event is all about, is to celebrate success. So first of all, we've done some ride-alongs. Kirill Nixon did a ride-along with a crash advocate, Ron Wood, who actually, his mother and sister and 3 nephews were killed by a fatigued driver, and he had a very negative view of the trucking industry. And I said, have you ever been in a truck? And he said, no. I said, well, would you go for a ride? And it was very emotional. Carol did a great job. He did a YouTube video about it. So we maybe can change opinions one person at a time. We also do ride-alongs. The Image team does ride-alongs with elected officials. Lisa Burrows here from Wisconsin. She gave our Secretary of Transportation in Wisconsin and our Congressman who serves on the Transportation Committee, Congressman Reed Ribble, ride-along. We've got more ride-alongs planned. So it's our way of letting someone who's an elected official or a public official get a little taste of what it's like to sit in the cab of a truck. So we decided that we needed to find out really how many women are there in the trucking industry. Women in trucking doesn't just represent drivers, we represent the mechanics, technicians, safety professionals, the women who own the trucks, build the trucks, sell the trucks, fix the trucks, and drive the trucks. So we came out with a WIT index, and the first part of the WIT index was the 15 publicly traded carriers, and the University of Memphis did research to see how many of them had women on their boards and how many of them had women in the management levels. And of the 15, half of them didn't have women on the board and half of them didn't have any women at the management levels. But we're going to track that over the years and kind of challenge them and say, you know, maybe you need a little bit more diversity in your upper levels. We're also going to be working with the National Transportation Institute to determine with about 450 carriers what percentage of their management team is women and what percent of their drivers are women as well, because the government statistics kind of call people who deliver things truck drivers as well. So we're gonna get our own numbers. We should have that in a few months. I'm very proud to say that we work with the truck cab manufacturers on truck cab design and ergonomics, and Ryder has been very influential in speccing trucks based on the recommendations. So if you're not on our Facebook page, a lot of times I go out to the Facebook page and say, you know, tell me like what truck you drive and what you want to see changed on it. And I met with the engineers at Peterbilt one day, and I said, well, let me just ask our Facebook page. And I said, how many of you drive Peterbilts? What would you like to see different, or what do you like about their trucks? Within 2 hours, I had 11 pages. And I took it to the engineers, and they were just fascinated. So we're going to be doing more research like that. So we are making changes. One of the things I want to see in the cabs, well, two. One of them, how many of you have pets? Okay. Don't you think they should make a pet-friendly truck? Right? Filtration system and maybe the carpeting, and so we're going to be asking for feedback on that. You know, what's a pet-friendly truck, and maybe the manufacturers can offer that as an option. And the other thing that I personally want to see, and somebody on the Facebook page said, why can't we have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in our trucks? Right? They should. We have them in our homes. They're required in our homes, right? And finally, a security system. You should feel safe when you're sleeping in the cab of your truck. So I'd like to see, I have a security system on my home. If you break in, I know. So why can't you have a security system in your truck so that if somebody tries to break in, an alarm will go off, people will be alerted, and it'll scare them away. So you're going to see that. Hopefully next year when I stand up here, I can say that that's in place. We're working on a truck stop rating directory. I think you should all go into our Women in Trucking website, look under resources. We're actually going to be rating truck stops. You can say, hey, their bathrooms were clean, their bathrooms weren't clean, the customer service person was friendly, wasn't friendly. So we want to be able to give some feedback to the truck stops on how they're treating our drivers. So please look at our website, under resources, look at the truck stop directory. The image team, I'm so proud of the image team, but I'm not going to say anything because Lena's going to talk a little bit about them in a couple minutes. And then the Girl Scout patch. Do you remember when I told you last year that we came out with a curriculum for the Girl Scouts? We've been doing Girl Scout events all over North America. In fact, some of you have held some Girl Scout events, I heard. Raise your hands if you've done that. Okay. Oh, next Saturday up in Superior, in St. Paul, Minnesota. We have the curriculum, so if you would like to hold a Girl Scout event, if you're a carrier, bring the Girl Scouts to the company, or if you're a truck driver training facility or a dealership, bring the girls in. They can actually earn the Women in Trucking Transportation Patch. We worked through the Greater Chicago, Indiana Girl Scout group, and so they can actually earn their patch. And in Canada, it's Girl Guides, and we're doing an event in Canada as well. So we're very proud because we found out the Boy Scouts had a transportation patch and the Girl Scouts didn't. So the Girl Scouts do now, thanks to Women in Trucking. Atlanta. We also we honor other people in the industry. One is our influential woman in trucking, who you'll meet the last influential woman in trucking, Carrie Ream. We honor women who have been influential in the industry. And we have our Distinguished Woman in Logistics Award, and that will actually be announced in about a week and a half in San Antonio. We're very proud of these exceptional women, and Shelley Simpson was one of the finalists for that. So we honor women who have been instrumental and who mentor other women and have been raising the image of women in the trucking industry. Our salute to Women Behind the Wheel, which is our annual event, but our first annual event will be held in Canada at Truck World in about a week and a half. Joanne Ritchie, stand in case anyone has questions. So their first salute to Women Behind the Wheel in Canada in Toronto on April 16th, I believe it's that Saturday of Truck World. So any of you Canadians, please come on up. Hey, you don't have to be Canadian. We allow US people over the border. We're very excited about that. We'll see. You know, we're going to have a challenge and see how many Canadians attend. So you got to beat this record. Okay, and we're working on a minority carrier exchange. A lot of women who owned trucking companies, dealerships, they get certified as a women-owned business, and we get calls from people who say, the government requires me to use certain women-owned businesses, and so we're making a directory that we can provide that resource for them. And then the foundation, we'll talk a little bit about the foundation and the scholarships. They've been giving out money like crazy. So for those of you who want any training in the trucking industry, we provide scholarships for technicians, safety professionals, CDLs, and leadership positions, but I'm not going to say too much more because I'm going to have the foundation talk about that. And then we had our first ever Accelerate conference last year, our first ever conference, and we were hoping for 200 people, and we had 350. So how many of you were at our conference? Stan, raise your hand, you're in all the pictures. It was an amazing event. And this year it will be in Dallas in November 6th, 7th, and 8th, and it will be we're going to announce the speaker lineup pretty soon, but if you have any questions, you can see Carlene in the back, and she can give you all the information on the Accelerate Conference. And one other thing I just wanted to mention, yesterday TA Petro announced their citizen drivers, and we have 3, where's Robin? Robin Taylor? Stand up. Robin is having a truck stop named after her, Robin and her husband. Just truly amazing, thank you, Robin. And Candy Bass. Candy, stand up. Candy, her truck stop will be in Nashville, Tennessee. And John Osborne, I don't know if John is here or not, but of the 7 truck stops being named after citizen drivers, 3 of them were members of Women in Trucking, so how cool is that? And now I just want to mention, our Facebook page. I made a comment about it earlier, but we have almost 10,000 people on our Facebook page. And I want the administrators to stand up. Where are my Facebook administrators? Oh, back there. Stay standing, because I want to name all the administrators. Sandy Long kind of, does everything, keeps everyone in order, but it's Cindy Capps and Deb Labrie and Brooke Held-Sudamak. Did I say that correctly? And they have a table over there, information, but it's truly amazing because they keep off predators, they keep off recruiters. Sorry, recruiters, but it's not the place. They keep off people who are trying to find dates. They don't even allow selfies. They have these real, and any swear words, poof, you're gone. So let's give these ladies a round of applause. Thank you for all you do. I am just so thrilled with our Facebook page. So now, where's Deborah? Come on up. I'm gonna have, so we have a foundation, and the foundation is raising money for scholarships, and I'm gonna have Deborah talk a little bit about it, but I'm just gonna mention the Scholarship Foundation Board of Directors. Deborah Katz is the chair. Joyce Brenny, Joyce, would you stand? Brenny Transport is on that board. Jason Henderson, Gina Heisel, where's Gina? Gina's on the board. Les Rosander, Gina's with JJ Keller. Joyce is with Brenny. I need to name the companies. Deborah Katz is with Truck Brush. Les Rosander, Trimac, he's in Canada, another Canadian on our foundation board. Sandra Sanford from TA Petro Stopping Centers, Nicole Carell from Ryder, and John Dietz with BMO Transportation Finance. So this is Deborah Katz, chair of the foundation. She's going to tell you a little bit about the scholarships.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I feel truly blessed to be here today among so many women in the transportation industry. The Women in Trucking Foundation's mission is to raise funds for scholarships to be distributed to women and men, we do not discriminate, for the purpose of training and education. And we offer scholarships in the areas of transportation in the following areas: driving, leadership, logistics, safety, and technical. We kicked off 2016 with 2 major donations. $25,000 from the Ryder Charitable Foundation. This is the largest single donation our organization has received since the inception of the foundation in 2011, and a $10,000 grant from JJ Keller to establish a Jan Hamblin Scholarship, and that is to honor our past chair of the foundation for all of the hard work that she did, both for the foundation and the transportation industry. And that was with JJ Keller. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's pretty amazing. So we had a great kickoff to this year, and because of those generous gifts, we awarded in January 6 rider scholarships, each at $1,500, a Jan Hamlin scholarship for $1,000, and 3 Women in Trucking Foundation scholarships at $1,000 each, for a total of $13,000. And we are just starting. We will have another application pool happen in July, and I encourage everyone to go to the womenintruckingfoundation.org website to get information on how you or anyone that you know that is seeking education and training in those areas to apply. It's a simple application with 1 essay, and we're very, very proud of what we've achieved already in 2016. And in closing, I just want to say, I want to read actually a recent thank you from someone who received one of our scholarships. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about the foundation, and it's not even about WIT. It's about the individuals that are working so hard to further their careers in the transportation industry. Dear Ms. Deborah Katz, thank you so much for selecting me for this scholarship. My eyes were filled with tears of joy. This scholarship will help me tremendously as I start my career as a woman in trucking. I cannot express my appreciation enough. Thank you so much for this blessing. Gratefully, Lakina Anderson. And we receive letters like this from all of our recipients, and I just want to thank everyone in this room for all their support. So many of you donated today, and we cannot do this without your support.
Deborah, don't go anywhere. And the bandana that she's wearing, if you make a donation to the foundation, you can get a bandana. And I think Carlene's still offering, opportunities for prizes. We'll be pulling those prizes after they come back from the photo, right? Yes. Okay, so don't leave. So she mentioned Jan Hamlin. Jan Hamlin was on the foundation board for quite a few years, and when she retired from J.J. Keller after 40 years, they gave the $10,000 scholarship, but Deborah said, Jan left such big shoes to fill. Well, at our Accelerate conference, Jan was wearing silver slippers. You filled the shoes. You're doing a great job, Deborah. Okay, so don't forget the prizes back there. Now, Carrie, I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. Come on up, Carrie. Carrie Ream is president and CEO of Ream Kenworth and winner of the 2015 Influential Woman in Trucking Award. She'll address the group and honor the female drivers for your service. Carrie took over Ream Kenworth, a family-owned business, since 1932 after the passing of her husband in 2010. Under her leadership, Ream Kenworth has grown from 3 to 5 dealerships. They've also increased headcount by over 50%, been the Kenworth Truck Company Medium Duty Truck Dealer of the Year 3 out of the last 5 years, and have been certified by the Women's Business Enterprise Network Council since 2011. Ream Kenworth is the only 100% women-owned Kenworth dealer in the United States. Round of applause. Carrie has been named a Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Magazine Family Business Honoree in 2013, received a National Association of Women-Owned Businesses Local Chapter Pioneer Award in 2014, and was honored with a 2015 nomination for American Truck Dealers Association Dealer of the Year. Let's welcome Carrie. Thank you.
Good morning. Oh, Ellen's a lot taller than I am. I hope my pages don't go flying. Thank you for having me here. And good afternoon, ladies. Thank you for coming today. What a wonderful celebration. You deserve this recognition for your hard